Again, in this video, coming in from the movement controls. This one is just some extra stuff that I'm doing. I originally had the character walking by default, and you push another button to make him run. And I actually since switched it around, so now by default you run, and to push a button to walk. And I just have that set up, so it's something I wanted to add in as as I've mentioned before. This is kind of a test case project. It's for me to learn things, and it was actually a simple feature to add. So all it is I run the pressed event, and when you push the button, multiply the walk speed by 0.5, which halves it. And so this is where I used the Z velocity variable, right? I found that I didn't actually speak about the falling before in the previous video. So the falling, where I set the velocity, there's a -2 there on Z. What I found out is when you walk down a ledge or something with the mobile pawn, and the controls that I've got, the way I've got it set up is, if you walk down and you let go of the button, he'll fall down as you expect. But if you walk down and you keep walking, you'll keep walking in the air as if on the exact same height that you were walking from, so you'll never fall. And so my solution for that was to always have Z calculate in the negative. So as soon as you walk off a ledge, you actually, by holding down the key, you're making the character fall down. And so over here where we run or walk, I have that calculated as well. So when you walk, you know, the speed of the sideways movement affects what the fall looks like. So to get that to feel a little bit better, I just also calculate that speed in this event. So when I go into the walk, the fall is also halved, and when I go into the run, when I go back into the run, when you release the key, multiply the value by 2, so go back to the run speed. Also multiply the fall speed to be the original fall speed again as well. So yeah, the falling thing, I don't know if I ultimately I'm using that correctly, but that's how I could figure out how to use it. And it's not really a big deal to me. When I first wanted to do this little project, I didn't intend to really do jumping and things like that. I did try and figure out how to do jumping. It's a little bit more complicated. You know, you have to switch the character over, you have to switch the physics. From what I can figure out, your default physics is walk physics, and to jump you have to be in falling physics. And let me just see if I can illustrate that a little bit. It's I think it's in the pawn. No, it's in the physics. Sorry, set physics. So your phys walking is your default, and your phys falling is for when you jump or fall or whatever. So the pawn is set up in a way so when you walk off a ledge, it automatically goes into the phys falling state, and so then, you know, until it lands, and then it goes back into the phys walking state. But when you want to jump, and again, I'm not sure if I'm doing this correctly, or you know, if there's something set up for it. But when you jump, the way I could do jumps, which I don't actually currently have implemented, but I did mess around with it, is switching the physics over, throwing the character in the air, and doing things like that, and that kind of works. It's not perfect, but yeah, I would have to look at jumping a little bit more to actually figure that out. But yeah, I wasn't actually going to do jumping as in jumping onto stuff a little bit more Gears of War, where you can dive and jump and stuff like that. Not jump, but dive. You don't physically leave the ground. You can't jump onto ledges and things like that unless there's a specific climb thing. And so I didn't really specifically think too far forward on that yet. But yeah, that's with jumping. I mean it might not be as complicated as it seems, but I don't really have the information for that. I messed around with it a very little bit, and I couldn't really get something to work perfectly like you do get with normal, like the UT3 scripted pawn that you get, like the bots, the not the bots, but the UT3 pawns that you use in the UT3 game demo. So I think for the attacks here, I'm gonna jump that over to the next video.